Oh my gosh. Welcome back, all you beautiful people in Webtown. I am so excited. It finally came. It's finally here. It only took a year, but it's finally here. Get ready, Comicsgate. Here it is. Boom, Cyberfrog. Oh wait, this is Cyberfrog number 1 from February of 1996. Dang, rats, foiled again. I thought for sure it'd finally come in the mail, but no, not yet. This is from my collection. I've had this since 1996 when it came out. I have all the Cyberfrogs. I have the ones that you can't find on mycomicshop.com. I have the Cyberfrog Creed crossover even. And I'm going to go through this comic book. This is a cover by Walt Simonson. Very famous. This was created, written, and drawn by Ethan Van Sciver, self-proclaimed Caesar of Comicsgate. Directing traffic. So you have these gangbangers. Oddly, this is eerily similar to how Lone Star, Heart of the Hero by Mike S. Miller opens, where you have a bunch of gangbangers who are about to rape and murder a woman. And Cyberfrog shows up and he's like, this isn't gonna happen. Oh, snap. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I think Ethan might have been the first guy to use the term snap. I don't recall this ever existing in the human lexicon before this moment right here. So Cyberfrog, jumps down. It's wonderfully drawn. It's not written poorly. I will say this, People wonder, does Ethan know how to write? Well, I mean, based on this, he did an alright job, man. He did an alright job. There are a couple things I'm going to point out. But that's what I do here in these reviews. I point things out. Things I like and things I don't like. What I love about this is the artwork is fantastic. The writing is actually solid. Believe it or not, like this kid, he'd only written, believe it or not, this kid had only written like 2 comic books before this, if I'm not mistaken. It would be Cyberfrog 1 and 2 from Hall of Heroes. This is from Harris Comics. This would be the second volume of Cyberfrog. And this is some good dialogue. Oh no! That big armored frog just turned G-Funk's head into strawberry jam! And it looks like we're next! What do we do, Dog Mule? Hang tight, Mitch. I don't care what he is. Nobody screws with Traffic. That's the name of the gang, Traffic. Aw, at least give me a minute to wipe this guy's brain junk off of my... Jeez, are you eager to become a casualty or what? Bullets are the answer to every question around here. These guys would be pretty good on a debate team. Maybe not exactly good, but kinda amusing. I mean, imagine the response to any political conundrum being answered with a hail of bullets. Utopia. So, what you're saying is when you have a political disagreement with people, you should just murder them? Yeah, I can think of some regimes that have done that. Tell me in the comments below what regimes you can think of that have just murdered people that they didn't like. But good dialogue. What a lousy shot. This punk couldn't hit the friggin' sky. And that's a far cry from a sleek little killing machine like me. Cuts his head off. Boom, just sloop. Kicks his foot through this guy's stomach. Wow. Impales a brick into this guy's head. Literally ties this guy's neck in a knot. This is really cute. He kills this guy with an episode of what I'm assuming is Bloodpool, an old Rob Liefeld comic. I'm definitely getting a strong vibe that that's Badrock in his overalls. And I mean, like, this is the first thing, is like, this is a hero and he's murdering people. And she actually calls him out on it though, which I like. I am an artiste. You killed them. Yeah, cool, huh? No, you didn't have to murder them all. Oh, why? Did you want to rip up a couple of them yourself? No, Then just say thanks and I'll be on my way, you dig? Say thanks? You just murdered 6 people in cold blood and you want me to thank you for it? You toadish-looking ghoul. Hey, get me out of this thing. So she puts him in a trash can. Huh, what's this? Yesterday's Times, huh?
More mutilated bodies found. Strange. I remember being in this area of town. Last night, the partially eaten and digested bodies of 17-year-old Darren Stewart and Mariette Richards were found outside a blah blah blah. That wasn't me. Those kids sounded like innocents, and I don't kill innocents. I make it a point. That's not the main problem, though. The problem is my homing sense. It automatically guides me to crime scenes and allows me to dole out justice as I see fit. I don't know about these murders. Something's not right. My homing sense is betraying me. And if you can't trust your homing sense, what can you trust? Oh, great. And now it's raining.
So then we get to this guy. His name's Ben Riley. And as Ethan writes, men call him Ben Riley. Women don't call him. Ever. But that doesn't mean he's not special. On the contrary, the medallion around his neck makes him very special. It means he's a humanitarian. He eats humans. He's dressed like in this 9 Inch Nails shirt. Head up your hole instead of head like a hole. I get it. That is a 90s reference for all you kids out there. And so Ben's gonna, eat these two mall rats and this dude, Mark Lau. He holds up the amulet, which is an Egyptian curse carried over from generation to generation. It's gifted Ben with a dual personality. This personality never seems to have trouble getting its way.
Hey, Lau, is the meat market still open?
Oh, geez, it's that Ben Riley scab. Ignore his sexist remark, girls. Wow, very forward-thinking, Mr. Van Sciver.
Wasn't talking about the girls, fool.
Comma. Need a comma. Ethan signs this splash page, which is weird. Don't you hate when this happens? Ethan says right there. You see that? Okay. So this guy turns into, I don't know, a big bug with wings. Just eats his head off, essentially. Spits out the skull and the jaw. And then he's gonna go after the girls next. And it's only a few seconds before Ben Riley has turned the two girls into chow mein. Pretty amusing, really. Is it? Because the last words that the blonde girl said before she was disemboweled keep replaying madly in his mind. Her eyes narrowed as she said, "Hey, you're the guy that killed those kids, aren't you?" Typical blonde. No brains. Great legs. Okay. Sexist a little bit. So Cyberfrog's back in his dump that he lives in, this ramshackle. His fortress of pulchritude. Very clever. He's watching Perfect Strangers. Balky, give me back my hat. Balky, my hat. We interrupt this meaningless drivel to bring you more of the same, in a different format. Who doesn't like Perfect Strangers? Bad news today, I'm afraid. People keep dying. This time it was 3 kids ripped to shreds outside of the Basic City Mall. Police identify one pile of stinking flesh as 18-year-old Mark Lau, an honor student at Basic High School. The other 2 heaps of excrement have yet to be identified, but are assumed to be mall chicks. So who cares? Sense a lot of animosity towards ladies in this. Just an observation. More news when there are more bodies. Have a nice day.
It's him again. This is really starting to piss me off.
Why do I do Cyberfrog's voice like Harvey Fierstein? I don't know. It's just how I imagine it, I guess. Maybe it's because of Froggy from The Little Rascals, our gang.
Froggy always talk like this, but I want to kind of give him more of a New York vibe. Why aren't I being alerted to all of this? My homing sense should be dragging me straight to the source of all of this violence. No questions asked.
The question was just asked, though, wasn't it? So now we get the origin of Cyberfrog, at least the origin as we know it in this. So in this one, Cyberfrog talks directly to the reader, which I actually kind of find interesting. It's kind of like the Merc with a mouth, Deadpool.
I'll bet some of you are wondering what the devil I'm talking about with this homing sense junk, huh? After all, this is my first issue, and most of you don't know me from Adam. Well, I'll tell you as much as I know, which isn't much. First thing I remember is water. I was submerged, man. I was newborn, but for some reason, I wasn't like ignorant or anything. You know that feeling when you wake up with a hangover in a strange bed, not remembering the night before?
No, I actually don't know what that's like. I have never gotten blackout drunk in my life and fallen asleep in a strange bed. I have seen someone else do it, though. It's quite remarkable. He also, I won't say my friend's name who did this, but we went to an all-night party, and he got so drunk that he fell asleep in a back room and took his clothes off completely. And when he woke up, all I heard was his voice at like 6 o'clock in the morning just go, "Where the fuck am I? Why the fuck am I in the nude?" And he really was. He really was. He did it to himself.
Anyways, you know that feeling when you wake up with a hangover in a strange bed, not remembering the night before? That's exactly how it was. And I thought I looked like hell. It didn't take long to get over that, though. And I spent about 10 years in a fog jumping through the sky and stuff.
Was he in Japan? If I was to write a Cyberfrog story, I would use this as my visual cue and I would have him in Japan.
I figured, hey, I look like a comic book cliche. Might as well act like one, too. That's why I moved to Manhattan. Things were pretty happening until one day when the buzz came. My head was ringing like crazy. It was so irritating. It was like, well, imagine frickin' poison setting up in your ear canal and playing Unskinny Bop at 3 billion decibels. It was then that I lost control over my entire body. Something was actually pulling me towards it. I had a purpose. And through exertion, I discovered something else. I had boot thrusters.
Yeah, okay. So then he goes to, find bad guys and fight them. And there's an old woman here with curlers in her hair. "Lord save us all. It's another demon from the very pits of hell."
Huh? Listen, you baggy old crone. I've never even been to hell. It just seems like it sometimes.
"Ah, get thee hence, foulest of Satan's minions."
"Oh, shut your pollen chewing hole."
And he hits an elderly woman. Murders people, hits old ladies. This is not a hero so far. I mean, he did save that gal from getting raped, but he murdered like 6 people to do it and then beat up an old woman.
Now to find out just exactly why I was brought here. Unless it was just to sock that old lady. Chances are, though, this was the reason.
Okay, so he's got more guys to fight. And again, like, great artwork, Ethan. Great, fantastic artwork. I love it. Then we get to Heather Swain. Put your tongues back in your slimy mouths. She's only 16. And our buddy Ben here, man, he wants a piece of that action right there. But she gives him what for and the family jewels. That's what you wanted, Ben. Let's have a general sigh of sympathy for poor Ben from our male readers. How we ache at the prospect. So he was like gonna try to rape this broad. There's a lot of rape in this. He was gonna try to rape this broad in the cemetery, and she knees him in the balls, and I'm supposed to give a sigh of sympathy for poor Ben. I guess I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. I feel like there's a lot of dislike for women so far in this. Just observing it. I didn't pick up on that when I was a kid reading this, but I am picking up on it now. I guess he deserved it, though. Anyhow, Ben looks after Heather with a bizarre mixture of hatred and attraction. This is a first for him. Tonight, he will go unfed as the first person ever to evade his grasp. Darts through the cemetery with the grace of a gazelle. He likes that, and he hates it, too. Love-hate relationship going on here. So then the mother is, singing Onward Christian Soldiers. This is Ben's mom. "Ben, I got your laundry, fresh underwear." "Mother, you must pay for your crimes against the Dark Lord of the Underworld. Your flesh will feed 1,000 maggots as the flames lick the skin from your bones. Your eyes will be... Okay, well then, I'll just leave it outside of your door. Get some sleep. You've got church in the morning. Excellent. She is gone. So, now he's gonna go after her again. No one must interrupt me while I meditate. No one must intrude upon me while I meditate. The gods have betrayed me tonight. Is one girl too much for the great Osiris to deliver? It's not as if I'm asking to have lunch with Garib Shamus or anything. Oh! Boom! High five for that. Self high five. Reference to Wizard Comics creator Garib Shamus. Heather, why does that sniveling little tramp despise me so? I'm a pretty cool guy, so I don't bathe regularly. Big deal. That's what cologne's for. Anyway, so, he turns into, creepy monster. Flies out his window, I guess. And there's bats flying. So, he's gonna go get that, he's gonna go get her and eat her. Will Cyberfrog defeat the double menace of device and spite? Will Heather evade Ben's jealous wrath? Will Ben take a friggin' shower? Find out in 60 days in Torrin Together. And look at this. We've got a profile with Skinny Ethan. Let's see what Skinny Ethan was thinking back in February of 1996. Place of birth. Provo, Utah. Mormon land. Influences and why. Derek Riggs. The guy who used to paint all those Iron Maiden covers way back in when? Dale Keown. His work is so dynamic. I can't get enough of it. He's the man. Peter Baggy, for his sense of humor and characterization and hate and neat stuff. Jack Kirby, because everyone has to say him. Satan. He's always been there for me when I needed him. Huh. So you're going to be an edgelord and hail Satan. Okay, well, it sounds to me like maybe you should be hanging out with Tim Doyle rather than Comicsgate. You can kind of see that in his eyes right there. Satan. So Satan. He's always been there for me when I needed him. Mm-hmm. How did you break into the comic business? I worked for Hall of Heroes for a little while. Then I got an inking gig on Vampirella Shadowhawk. I actually have that comic. Maybe we'll review that someday. But mostly I've been stuck with Cyberfrog. I can't get away from that little creep. Yeah, going on 25 years. That's just true. Then I did a blood sacrifice to Satan. That's where my talent comes from. I made that part up. How did you come up with that little creep? The usual. Alcohol, despondence, despair, and the threats of my girlfriend, the pig. May she rot in hell. Oh my God, he said this. The usual. Alcohol, despondence, despair, and the threats of my girlfriend, the pig. May she rot in hell. A lot of angst towards women in this comic book. A shit ton of angst towards women. Favorite snack at 2 o'clock in the morning? Pie. No, he didn't say that. That was later. That came later. Skinny Ethan didn't like pie. Oh, wow. This is just like the friggin' Wizard interview. Let's see what John Romita Sr. says. Glazed pecans. Can't say I agree. No, my favorite is Taco Bell flavored Doritos. I love them. They drive away the masses. Weirdest thing that ever happened to you? A cooler question would be, what's the weirdest thing a fan ever sent you? Well, a chick sent me nude photos. There's a stuffed frog sitting over her crotch. It scared the hell out of me. I changed my mailing address. A chick sent you nude pictures, and it scared you. Interesting. Take her out for some pizza, Ethan. I'm starting to see why 99% of women are pushed out of Comicsgate. When in Rome. When in Rome. The watered-down portrayal in the mid-70s aside, who is the greatest, Muhammad Ali or Superman? Tough question. Superman definitely has more staying power. He's gone on to bigger fights like the Hulk. How about Linda Carter versus Muhammad Ali? Linda Carter was a fabulous babe. I'd have to say Linda, because I'd want her to win.
When I was 6, she taught me how to draw cleavage. Thanks, Linda.
Who's your favorite interviewer/editor?
David C. Bogart, of course.
Can you name all 4 members of ABBA?
Agnetha? That's, oh my god, I suck. Wait, there's Benny. How do you pronounce it? Bjorn? And the redhead. But I really love Agnetha.
Okay, well, that's what Skinny Ethan was thinking way back when. And this is something I found very interesting, is he actually writes, like SJWs write on Twitter nowadays when they want to try to make you feel like you're developmentally delayed.
Hola, you nihilistic, depraved connoisseurs of carnage. This is Ethan von Strucker, proving that there is life after small press. Sorta. Actually, the real world is full of hard work and long, tiresome hours of sore fingers.
No, I don't believe that, actually. I think there have been no sore fingers the past year while I've been waiting for this Cyberfrog comic.
But at least it's resulted in this brand new full-color Cyberfrog series. Can't beat that with a Louisville, especially now that I have some help from the best of the best in this sewer of an industry.
Like, you've been in the business a friggin' year, kid. Skinny Ethan was just totally a little arrogant prick.
Big thanks to the second king of frogs, Walt Simonson, for his brilliant rendition of the Technotoad on this issue's cover. Love it. Also, I've got Ruben Rude bringing his hot as hell colors to the new series, and none of you can tell me the Cyberfrog doesn't look 50 times more deadly in color. I've even got a letterer, Robin Spiar, saves me many a callus with his hardcore in-your-face, leave you with 2 black eyes and a fat lip effects. Check it out. Those of you who missed the old Hall of Heroes issues, don't worry. You don't need them. We're starting over again, as if nothing ever happened. Sometimes I wish it hadn't.
Okay. I guess you're upset that you made 2 comics and got to break into the industry and make millions drawing? Okay. Some people actually have to go work in oil fields and factories and dig ditches for a living, believe it or not. They actually have to work. Some people actually have to work 10 to 12-hour days to provide for their families.
Although my regular fans may have spotted a few tips of the hat just for them, the one thing you do need to know is that I give away special prizes for the coolest letters that are inflicted upon me. You want some original pages? Get out your crowns and tell me what you thought. And lest I forget, here are some of the letters that I received from the Hall of Heroes Cyberfrog number 2. Better late than never.
Well, some things never change. Better late than never, huh? I guess so. Super sexy Vengeance of Vampirella cover. This is Joe Quesada, Jimmy Palmiotti. Looking good. Cyberfrog number 2, Ben Reilly gets stomped. Believe it or not, all you beautiful people out there, back then Ethan could release a comic once every other month. He could do this. Writing it, drawing it, inking it, the whole thing, every other month. I want Skinny Ethan back. That's all I got to say. What happened to Skinny Ethan? I need to get him back. I think, minus all of the woman hating. Like, I don't know about you guys. I like women. I would prefer to have more women in the comic book industry who are attractive and funny and thoughtful and intelligent. Like we've seen here in the first wave of Comicsgate. Comicsgate Wave 1 really appreciated women, liked their opinions, liked their talent. Third wave Comicsgate, not so much. You know, more like When in Rome, right? When in Rome.
Basically, this comic book has no morality in it. This is totally an amoral hero in an amoral story. Not something I would expect from someone who claims to be fighting a culture war on a daily basis through their Twitter account. But you know, some people change, some people grow. I don't think the misogyny in this has changed, though, if I'm going to just be completely honest.
But anyway, that is Cyberfrog number 1 from Harris Comics, February 1996. I hope you liked it. If not, go right here, get some pizza.